now we would like to move on to one last panel discussion. This panel discussion is completely based on investing in individual potential.
Singareddy Shauri Reddy, Executive Director of Bala Vikasa.
Can you please come on the stage? Singareddy Shauri Reddy, Executive Director of Bala Vikasa.
Next we have Neerja Shikawat, Founding Member of India Khelo Football.
Please have a round of applause.
Next we have Srinivas Prasad Vemuru, Senior Director at Open Text. Welcome, sir.
Next, we have Hemanta Kumar Bhattu, Head Resource Mobilization at Ramki Foundation. Next, we have Archana Ranganathan, Founder and Managing Trustee of Divyam Foundation Educational Trust. We have one last panelist, Rai Jogini BK Kuldeep Didi, the Director of Brahma Kumari Shanti Sarovar, where we are actually placed in right now. She is in charge of the Brahma Kumaris Hyderabad Telangana entire region, and she has been managing the committee of the BK World headquarters in Mount Abu. Also the Vice Chairman of the National IT Wing. She has dedicated her life for the service of humanity for more than 65 years. She has led several community service projects and programs. And last but not the least, she is the one who has permitted this summit here conference, the CSR South performance, and all the summit, the panelists, the speakers, everything has been admitted. Thank you so much, and over to the moderator.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. So since we are at the end of the day, we'll try to cover up as much as possible. So we have a very important topic to discuss, which is investing in individuals. So we have a mix of panel members from corporate and also from non-profit and also spiritual leaders. So let's try to benefit from their experience and try to understand how they have designed different type of individual investment programs. So generally, this investment in individual is to empower the individuals. So I am from Bala Vikasa. So in Bala Vikasa, when we talk about empowerment of individuals, we talk at three levels: the head level, heart level, and hand level. Head level, it is improving the knowledge. At heart level, it is changing the attitude or self-transformation. And at hand level, is giving them the right skills to empower them. So all our purpose is investing for long-term benefit and investing to impact the individual and also to society. So I want to get the feedback from all of you. So you are all very actively doing this kind of programs. So can I hear from you how important it is for your organization investing in individuals? From Prasad sir.
I'll probably start with the statements that communities grow when individuals grow, right? So communities are not independent of individuals. So the human capital investment is what most of the organizations do. So what we strongly believe in is could be in a student level, it could be in a organization level, it could be on a leadership level. So we invest a lot on the individuals. And individuals, when I say could be an individual person, individual employee, or a student, and also a family. So when you are benefiting an individual, when you are enriching an individual, indirectly probably it helps a larger perspective in terms of families, right? The economy or whatever you call starts from individual. That's where we put a lot of investment.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. Hemant Garu.
Thank you, Mr. Shauri. It's a privilege to be here around to discuss about investment on individual potential. So it's a good opportunity. What has been being done in terms of investment, hitherto we heard about investment on various sectors where returns are of different terms and all. But the topic here itself indicates that's investment on individual potential, especially from the vantage point of societal benefit and societal vantage point. So here I would like to take you through the legacy of investing on individual, which can be traced back right from even Mahabharatas there, even a section of the kings who really interested to invest on the potentiality, exploring the potentiality of a mighty person called Karna, where investment was done. Even when we talk about the similar kind of lines in terms of investment on individual potentials. In modern India, a person who was really struggling to realize his fullest potential within the societal norms because of various stigmas which were associated with. And that person got a small support in terms of realizing his individual potential. Then that person could able to make his studies in one of the best universities in the world, like Columbia. And later on, he delivered a phenomenal gift to this country. I'm talking about none other than Mr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was initially supported in terms of investment on individual potential by Gwalior Sri Maharaj. This legacy of investing on individual potentiality can be traced back from very past. However, it is very important at this point of time also, because when we talk about investment on potential realization of an individual, yes, it is very true, because unless until we give a level playing field, because people have their own advantages, own privileges, and a lot of people have their, because of lack of such privileges, they are being deprived of having a level playing field in the society. So, such kind of investment on individual potential would not only provide level playing field to the people, it would in turn deliver a lot of social goods, so that that will be an impetus and they can stand as an inspiration not only for their family, but for their society, but for their greater nationhood also. So that is where investment on individual potential is very important, which has a strong, long legacy.
Thank you, Hemant Garu, for that introduction. So now the two corporates have explained about the importance. So now we have two implementing organizations, right? One from Chennai, one from Mumbai. So we want to hear from you what kind of interventions that you have designed to empower individuals by investing in them, maybe at a head level, hand level, heart level, whatever it is, right? Could you give some example of your organization, what you have done as investing in individuals, and how it impacted individual, their family, or the community, right? Can you give some, your own organization journey or your experience?
Thank you for that wonderful question, sir. When it comes to head, heart, and hand, Divyam Foundation Educational Trust works in the field of education, empowerment, employability, and entrepreneurship. So this addresses all the three. So, and it is a chain. I would like to give an example. In our organization, we started with 10 teacher training 10 students. Now it has multifolded to 40,000 students with over 1,000 teacher training. How does that happen? We invested on individual potential, found the right talent, and trained them. And out of that 1,000, rural 500 women were spotted, and they were homemakers, converted to be teachers, and they have been given employability skill, and all are employed, and some are even working in Anganwadis, and they have started their own daycare centers and communication skill classes, even in rural areas. So our prime core is English learning and teacher training. So we have multifolded and we have scaled up to 1 lakh students just by investing in individual potential of the teacher, especially children and women. So I think this example carries a lot of weightage, how much of population can be strengthened with education and empowerment as power. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Archana, for that example. I think you said you have transformed 500 household women into teachers. That is by investing in the women, normal women, to become a teacher, which is a very good example. Thank you for sharing that.
I think the way all the panelists said, like to create that kind of ripple effect, any organization which is working at a grassroots level, for example, India Khelo Football, who have been creating the platform for any player to showcase their talent. For our organization, it's important to set the process of identifying the right talent at the right platform, provide them the right platform, provide them the access for that platform. So when we were implementing a project in a Naxal affected area in Maharashtra, we were informed by the government of Maharashtra in Chandrapur that there is a potential that there are various individuals who play football here. So for us, it was important to provide that platform to that individual so that they can showcase their talent. Every year, they should have some place to, showcase the talent. Unless there is no exam, what are the students preparing for? So our platform reached to those students so that they could prepare every year in order to pursue football professionally. That's how we started providing the platform of IKF at a grassroots level in Chandrapur, and at the same time, when we were making sure that platform is there for the individual, we also saw in the long run it's not just the individual that would be affected by this campaign, but the community as well. Through us, a coach got developed in order to train those kids every year. There was other stakeholders like the district collector who himself ensured that, the participation, the platform information went out in a certain manner that maximum players could benefit out of it. So it's a ripple effect that's created not just at the individual, but at the same time in the ecosystem as well.
That's great. That's great to hear. So from Ramki, because you're corporate donor plus corporate implementing organization, your example of investing in individuals.
Yeah, certainly. It is very interesting trajectory, the developmental initiatives being initiated by Ramki Foundation, especially from the vantage point of investment on individual potential. Yes, when we talk about this investment from Ramki Foundation, we have seen this kind of investments in specifically in two ways. One is like investment on short-term requirements and investment on long-term returns, social returns. Generally, when we talk about from the social perspective, yes, we look for any social returns also. So when we look at the short-term investments, it's a very interesting story. Some of the current and we can say some live examples also we can see. Lot of youth are there today, and lot of youth who are really aspiring to be big and waiting for opportunities or a level playing field, which I was even previously highlighted. So they are looking for a breakthrough where they will have an opportunity to realize their fullest potential. In such case, some short-term investments are very useful so that we can really add a lot of value to their lives, and we can transform the lives of not only that particular individual, but entire family as a whole, thereby the entire society and nation as a complete, at the macro level, the impact which can be shown. So when we talk about the short-term investments, we are very keen and very categorically and very carefully we are investing on inspiring youth to upskill themselves so that the skill set which they are already having, but little bit upskill will add value, and that will bring in employability opportunity in the market. So market demand and the skill gap, that which we want to bridge. In that way, a lot of youth who were aspired for getting into various government positions where we had invested, the storyline which is with the Government of Telangana, police recruitment, where we could able to train around 500 potential youth who wrote the police department examination, of which more than 250 candidates became successful, including 51 sub-inspectors. So that is what the impact of the short-term investment, like although we thought of continuing that investment for 12 months, but as you know, because of various reasons, it has to continue for 18 months. But it could able to deliver the successful results. That 251 youth who got employed,
Good.
that 51 sub-inspectors.
Thank you.
And second, when we talk about the short-term investments, we are exclusively, very carefully investing on skill development centers where youth are either a 10th or 12th, for whom we are trying to give a tailor-made education or a training. It's like only 2 months training on various market demand trades. Currently, we are operating 3 skill centers, one in Punjab, it's in Punjab, Ludhiana nearby, and a couple of centers in Karnataka, one in Yadgir, as other in Bangalore.
So you have short-term investing training programs and long-term investing programs.
Absolutely.
That's so nice to hear.
Right. So
Prasad
it's
garu?
delivering goods.
Yeah.
So 2,000 students, I will take only half a minute. 2,000 students so far got benefited, where our investment is very meager, only to the tune of 40 lakhs, but it has a potential to generate 5.28 million rather, of employment opportunity. This is what a 1 year earning for those students. Those who completed training, at least they are earning a minimum 20,000 per month with a mere investment of 20,000 rupees for entire course.
Thank you so
This
much.
is the story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Prasad garu, your experience from your corporate company.
Yeah, so probably I will separate it into twofold. I'm fortunate to be involved in 3 wonderful initiatives last 25 years. 2002-3, we started investing on the schools. When we started investing, there was done 2 categories. One category is the evening school, where the kids are not able to really afford to go to even a government school or a private school. So we partnered with the different organizations. We helped almost 18,000 students by helping them to run the evening school. When I say the corporate responsibility doesn't really end by funding few dollars or few rupees, we partnered and ensured that each student gets benefited and given what's been promised by an NGO. So we partnered, more than 100 employees took part on a regular basis. That is one we have done. Another initiative we started doing in 2002-03 is we helped the organization like Round Table, helping them to build 20 schools, enabled probably 30,000 students to get the primary and secondary education. And then subsequently, I'm fortunate to be part of the noble initiative called Jawahar Knowledge Center. Only Telangana government could pull it off. There are 5 states came and studied that model, where 66 engineering colleges were picked from rural areas, and the students of those colleges were made industry ready. So at that point of time, 2002 to 2008, 70% of the hiring for companies operating in Telangana was happening from elsewhere. So we reversed. So 60 to 70% happening locally now. So that's the strength probably we could provide. I was one of the 21 HR heads representing various multinationals partnered with the government. So that's on an individual level, I was fortunate. Now, open text, though I'm not part of CSR committee, I know what exactly they do. And we sponsor multiple schools in doing, helping students to be giving primary and secondary. Again, we do not just a funding to the school, books to the teachers, to whatever. We will ensure that they are given what is required to make them the successful in their lives.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think 4 of you have expressed it's very important that you have shown that you have achieved it. When we talk about investment, whether it is in a business or wherever, if it is in business, you expect profit from investment from business. When you invest in a development program, you expect impact. Unless we showcase the impact to the donors, they will not be convinced to invest back. So what is your mechanism? How do you measure investment and convince your donor that you are really achieving the impact? Achha.
Am I audible? Yeah. In our organization, education is a long-term process. When we are talking about English literacy skills, communication skills, teacher training, so it is not a short-term 3-month project. We need to work with children for foundational years, primary years and secondary years in order for children to read newspaper flawlessly. We have an objective that children should read newspaper flawlessly at grade 5. So maybe in government schools and rural schools, we should make it at grade 8. So communication skills, grade 10. Grade 12, they should be ready for speaking. We have objectives. And I would like to, beyond books, I would like to say the real success is when parents call me on my training team and say that, ma'am, my son read something on the bus stop. Really, a few letters in the bus stop. And says that I can read. That shows the real success beyond books. So, and women who transformed as a teacher is able to train another 10 teacher, and the other 10 teacher is able to train another 100 student, which multifolds and multifolds like butterfly effect. And this is really measurable and tangible and not just community-wise, globally, I would say.
So what you are saying is you are using indicators to measure.
Yeah,
right? You are showing to the donors and then collecting the data to showcase that this many people are benefiting from.
And also, real-time reading power has increased. Say, for once the child is struggling to read, after 3 years, where is he or she? How is the teacher performing? So, from starting to, progress we measure every month, every 3 months, every 6 months. We have a proper assessment system that will go on.
Good. Thank you. Yeah. So, I have another question to Nirja and here. So, in investment, you have short-term investment, long-term investment. Sometimes you do just 3 months program, 1 month program, they get a new skill, new knowledge, they are ready for something. But sometimes you have to invest long-term. So convincing for short-term investment is easy, but long-term investment, right? How are you doing that? When you have a long-term investment programs, how are you strategizing and how are you convincing the donors to fund your long-term investment programs?
Correct. So you very rightly said that I think my fellow members would also agree on that bit to convince the organization which is supporting with the CSR funds for a long-term project, you cannot have a myopic vision. You have to have as an implementation partner an understanding of the entire ecosystem. By ecosystem, I mean that when you are planning to do or execute a project, sure, it would be for an individual. You will be investing into an individual, but at the same time, you have to have a look that how it's going to impact the entire ecosystem. For example, we did a project where we are empowering women through football. We organize trials, we identify talent, we make sure that the impact is being given to the right person. But at the same time, we had to create a safety net for that impact also. And that's what the CSR funders find very influential because it's a long-term vision. It is not going to be, we just conducted trials, we identified player, what after that? Who is taking care of them after the trials? Who is guiding them what needs to be done at, after scouting? What is or what needs to be done in order to get scouted as a professional player? So these individuals are being invested not just for a short period of time, but with the help of the safety net for the impact that is being created with other individuals like coaches, referees, even sometimes their brothers and sisters who help us out in, by volunteering for long-term effect where they are not just being the change maker for that particular event, but they are there for the entire duration, right from the start of creating an awareness campaign till that player gets a good platform to showcase his/her talent. And at the same time, these impacts needs to be measurable in terms of framework, SOP that our organization follow and eventually drives the impact that can be showcased by the organization which is investing in the CSR. So at the end of the day, any long-term project, if you have a vision about what you want to achieve, not just for the individual, but for the ecosystem at the large, is when any CSR funder believes and understands that, okay, this is not a myopic project, this is a long-term project.
Good. Thank you. So my last question to only one person who is the CSR person, a pure CSR person, because Ramki is a hybrid and you both are implementing and you are the pure funding organization. Balavikas also is the implementing organization. So what do you really look at your implementing partners when you are looking at funding them? What makes you to decide I'll fund them and what makes you to decide I will not fund them, I cannot fund them? For this kind of individual investment programs.
So I think as an organization, we ourselves love to or prefer to have long-term assignments because it's not that easy for us also to get a buy-in every 3 months, 6 months programs. If you look at what I have been doing from 2002, worked for Vanberg Group and subsequently to OpenText, most of the organizations look for the reliability in terms of the transparency, governance and compliance, and also clear-cut data points to show the investments and to show the results. So for example, if you ask me if I'm investing in a school, probably I'm funding for children, teachers, infrastructure, I would like to have some rating in terms of improvement in academics, improvement in performance, overall maturity, nourishment of the children, and the safety and security of the children, and the accountability. This is what we look as an organization.
Thank you.
I also would like to state a long statement. I'm not representing OpenText, so I'm here as an individual.
Right.
That's what I spoke to Aditya.
Yeah.
So after 25 years, I'm leaving OpenText this July 31st. Unfortunately, I completed my 25 years today. So why I'm making it open is I'm not representing OpenText. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that thing. I think all the NGOs who are here, what corporate is trying to say here is just saying I'm a good NGO, funds will not come. Just saying I'm a very long-term NGO, funds will not come. Or just saying my people are poor, can you fund, it will not come. unless we are capable and committed to produce the results and measure the results and showcase the results, funding will not come. Like any company investing in a business, they expect profit back, and any philanthropy or corporate, when they are investing money in a development program, they expect impact to the people that we are able to achieve. I think that's a very good feedback, that you gave, which will help all the NGO partners or anybody to think about creating impact by investing in individuals. I think investment leads to empowerment. Empowerment to get employment, empowerment to get into entrepreneurship, or maybe empowerment to become a good leader. दीदी जी, आप हमसे ये कहना, we are all development workers, right? So what kind of transformation is required among the development leaders so that we can really perform the effective transformation at the society level? What kind of things are required?
ओम शांति। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत हार्दिक स्वागत है ब्रह्मा कुमारी ईश्वरी विश्वविद्यालय में। आप सब इस कैंपस में बहुत सुंदर CSR समिट का आयोजन किया है। ब्रह्मा कुमारी भी बहुत सी सेवाएं समाज की भिन्न भिन्न वर्गों की सेवा करने के लिए हमारे 19 विंग्स बने हुए, जिसमें एजुकेशन विंग, वुमेन विंग और रूरल विंग, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव विंग, IT विंग, बहुत से 19 विंग्स के द्वारा हम पूरे समाज में परिवर्तन लाने के लिए, वैल्यू बेस्ड सोसाइटी बनाने के लिए यहाँ मेडिटेशन के द्वारा हम सब में जो वैल्यूज़ होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि समाज के लिए हर कोई कार्य कर रहा है। विदाउट वैल्यूज़ जो है, जो भी सेवाएं हम करते हैं उसका कुछ रिजल्ट नहीं आता है। जैसे हम चाहते हैं कि प्रकृति का हम परिवर्तन करें, लेकिन परमात्मा ने हमें लक्ष्य दिए, जब तक हम नहीं परिवर्तन होंगे, स्व परिवर्तन नहीं है तो विश्व का परिवर्तन नहीं कर सकते। और ये विशेष जो ये लैंड हमें मिली भी थी वैल्यू बेस्ड सोसाइटी बनाने के लिए, टीचर्स को वैल्यू एजुकेशन दी जाए। थ्रू टीचर्स हम बच्चों तक पहुंच सकते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ जब टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग करते थे वो यही बोलते थे कि हमें अपने वैल्यूज़ ही नहीं मालूम थी। बच्चों को हम डिसिप्लिन में सिखाते थे, ऐसा रहना, शांत रहना, लेकिन जब वो यहाँ आते थे, आवाज़ करते थे, उनको हम बोलते थे हमारे यहाँ का एक रूल है, कम बोलना, धीरे बोलना, बहुत मीठा बोलना और सोच समझकर बोलना। तो ये तो हमने सीखा नहीं। और वैल्यूज़ में हम दूसरों की जब विशेषताएं देखते हैं कि आप में क्या विशेषता है, आप में क्या विशेषता है, आप में क्या विशेषता है, सभी की जब विशेषताओं को हम देखते हैं और लिखते हैं कि ये विशेषता है, इसमें ये वैल्यू है, तो हमको भी वो लोग रेस्पेक्ट से देखते हैं कि हमारी विशेषताएं ये देखकर हम और विशेष बन जाते, स्पेशल। तो सभी की स्पेशलिटीज़ को देखते हैं। और ऐसे हम CSR के अंतर्गत हमें भी यहाँ पर बैटरी कार्स मिली हैं, कुछ स्टेट बैंक की तरफ से एक बस भी मिली है, क्योंकि हम समाज सेवा करते हैं। अभी हमारा मेडिकल विंग की तरफ से 10 करोड़ सिग्नेचर्स जो है सभी से ले रहे हैं ड्रग डी एडिक्शन के लिए। और आंध्रा गवर्नमेंट ने 20 कार्स फ्री दिए हैं कि आप हर एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जाकर इन सब से नशा मुक्त जीवन कैसे बिताना है। और ऐसे रूरल विंग से हम प्रकृति की सेवा कैसे करनी है। थ्रू मेडिटेशन हम प्रकृति को वाइब्रेशन देते हैं और हम लोग पेस्टिसाइड यूज़ नहीं करते हैं। ओनली मेडिटेशन से जो कीटनाशक दवाइयाँ हम यूज़ करते हैं ना, मेडिटेशन पावर से ही प्रकृति में भी परिवर्तन आता है। जब प्रकृति जड़ है वो बदल सकती है, और अगर हम मनुष्यों के ऊपर इसका प्रयोग करेंगे तो कितना विश्व के अंदर ऐसा परिवर्तन आएगा। जबकि हम आज की दुनिया में सिचुएशन जो देखते, सभी कहते ये नर्क है, हेल है, लेकिन परमात्मा आई सृष्टि का परिवर्तन नर्क को स्वर्ग बनाने के लिए। तो उस बेटर सोसाइटी को बनाने के लिए हम सबका कोऑपरेशन चाहिए। तो जैसे पोल्यूशन के लिए भी हम सब बहुत समझते हैं, बीमारियों का कारण पोल्यूशन है, ये प्रकृति में भी पोल्यूशन जो है बहुत ज़्यादा है, इसलिए बहुत से पशु पक्षी मर रहे हैं, मनुष्यों को भी बहुत बीमारियां आ रही। लेकिन ये पोल्यूशन स्टार्ट कहाँ से हुआ? मेंटल पोल्यूशन। उसके लिए हम पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग कोर्स कराते हैं, जिसको मेडिटेशन भी कहते हैं। और जब ये लैंड भी इसी आधार से मिली हमें कि हमने गवर्नमेंट के हर एक सेक्टर में जा कर के डेली हम पॉजिटिव जो थॉट्स हैं वो बोर्ड लगाते थे, जिसको पढ़कर लोगों के मन में चेंज आने लगी। और उन्होंने चीफ मिनिस्टर को कहा कि इस पूरे ही, तब तो एक ही स्टेट था, पूरे आंध्रा में ऐसा परिवर्तन लाना है। तो उनका जो लक्ष्य था कि हम आंध्रा को स्वर्णिम आंध्रा बनाएं, लेकिन परमात्मा ने लक्ष्य दिया है हमें पूरे विश्व को ही स्वर्णिम युग बनाना है। तो ये ब्रह्मा कुमारी इसकी विशेष सेवा है। और भी अनेक सेवाएं हम करते हैं CSR के अंतर्गत। अभी हम यहाँ चाहते हैं कि एक हमारा तालाब भी है, उसको ब्यूटिफिकेशन किया जाए। और हमें सोलार का भी, यहाँ सोलार प्लांट भी लगा है। हम भी चाहते हैं पोल्यूशन फ्री एरिया बने, जो भी आए उन्हें मन की भी शांति मिले और साथ साथ इससे वाइब्रेशंस जो हैं, प्रकृति के वाइब्रेशन भी हम प्राप्त करें। हम जो भी आते हैं उनसे प्लांट्स भी लगवाते हैं, उसको भी एक वैल्यू का नाम देते हैं। बहुत खुश होते जब उनको बताया जाता है कि आपके पेड़ में अभी इतने आम लगे, इतना अच्छा मीठे फल लग रहे हैं, तो बहुत खुश होते हैं। तो आप सबका भी हम यही सहयोग चाहते कि पहले आप सभी भी मेडिटेशन का थोड़ा सा कोर्स करेंगे तो आपके अंदर भी वो भावना जागृत होगी कि किस प्रकार से हमें हर वर्ग में मदद देना है। जो भी CSR का आप फंडिंग आदि करते हैं, तो CSR के अंतर्गत हम भी बहुत सेवाएं करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि ब्रह्मा कुमारी किसी से भी फीस या डोनेशन हम नहीं मांगते हैं। हमारी फीस है आपके अंदर जो भी वीकनेसेस हैं वो हमको दे सकते हैं, बाकी हम पैसा किसी से मांगते नहीं। परंतु जो भी चाहते हैं कि हम इस एरिया में कुछ कर सकते हैं, जैसे IT कंपनीज वालों ने बहुत सारे प्लांटेशन यहाँ किया है, तो इसलिए आप देखेंगे पूरे कैंपस में अगर आप घूमेंगे हर जगह आपको ग्रीनरी नज़र आएगी, तो उससे ही मन को बहुत सुकून मिलता है कि हरा भरा जब हम देखते हैं तो अच्छा लगता है। और जब देखते हैं कि पेड़ पौधे भी मुरझाए हुए हैं, हमारा भी मन थोड़ा ऐसा हो जाता है। तो ये मेडिटेशन से, मैं अभी सुना रही थी भाई साहब को, लेकिन अधूरा रहा। मुझे भी 2 साल पहले कैंसर हुआ था जो इनक्योरेबल था, लेकिन मैं डॉक्टर को बोली कैंसर को मैंने यहाँ से कैंसिल कर दिया, आप डरो नहीं। मैं तो नहीं डरती हूँ, थ्रू मेडिटेशन मैंने ओवरकम किया। तो डॉक्टर्स भी बोलते हैं कि ये विल पावर एंड मेडिटेशन पावर बहुत काम करती है। तो आप सब भी इसका प्रयोग करके देखिए। योग के प्रयोग कहते हैं हम इसको, मेडिटेशन का एक्सपेरिमेंट मैंने अपने ऊपर किया। और मैंने अभी तक, मुझे बहुत सारी ऐसी इनक्योरेबल और प्रॉब्लम्स भी हैं, लेकिन मैं डरती नहीं। मैं डॉक्टर्स को यही बोलती है, मैं मेडिसिन कम से कम लेती, मेडिटेशन पर ज़्यादा फोकस करती हूँ, वो भी मैं ठीक कर लूँगी। ओम शांति।
Thank you for that inspiring message on the importance of self-transformation to transform the society, and that too with a value-based transformation, and also to use meditation as a tool for becoming a fully personality. Thank you so much for that. So with this we close. Can we all give a big clap to all our panel members who came from Chennai, Mumbai and Hyderabad. Thank you so much for your time and the valuable message from your experience you have given. I'm sure all our audience are inspired from your journey, and then definitely they'll be able to think of doing something towards investing in individuals. Okay, thank you so much once again.